right, so what else am I doing today? Something that I love to do, and so I thought I would share. So let's just go over what we have here. Now, these are inexpensive. I got them from my local nursery. This is a self-watering tray or propagation tray, and the dome for humidity. I also have, I believe this is 72 cells for my seeds. This will go in here. Well, first you'll put the water in this. This will go in here where the soil or the seed starting mix and the seeds go, and then this will go over top of it until it starts to produce its leaves. Once I get a set of true leaves, I will then separate these out into some bigger little pots. But this is how I start them. So I'm first going to put some water in here. Now let's talk about seed starting mix. You don't need seed starting mix. When I first started out, I thought I did. I absolutely thought I did. But it's not a necessity, and it's kind of expensive. You can use some potting soil and then fertilize over time. But I do have some seed starting mix that I had left over. So I'm going to use it because I'm not going to waste it. But that's probably going to just be enough for maybe half of this tray. It might be for the whole tray. I'm not exactly sure. Oops, I'm making a mess. But I will use potting mix on the other trays that I start. So today I'm going to start my tomatoes. So let's talk about the pros and cons of seed starting mix versus potting soil. Potting soil is absolutely fine for starting seeds in. However, you are going to have, depending on the type of potting soil you get, some sticks possibly, some mulch looking material that hasn't quite broken down. There's nothing wrong with that. You can also just sift your potting soil through a big sifter to get those, or pick out the big sticks out of them. Seed starting mix is not going to have that. It's very light and very airy, so you can just dump it straight from the bag into the pots that you're going to use to start seeds in. Potting soil is going to be a little less expensive, so for seed starting mix, you're paying for convenience over having to pick out the sticks or sift your potting soil. So it's a good tool or product to have if, you know, you're not so much concerned about the price. With the amount of seeds that I start, if I had to use all seeds, especially organic seed starting mix, it would definitely be way more than what I wanted to spend. But like I said, when I was doing it on a smaller scale, it wasn't that bad. All right. So this tray is filled with soil, and I'm just going to let you see it. And I am going to, this is going to soak up water from the bottom, and I'm going to allow it to do that. And while it is doing that, I'm going to start making my labels. So I'm just going to put it over to the side for now. Now, if I had my greenhouse up, I would be doing this outside in the greenhouse, but that project did not happen yet. So next season, we will have a greenhouse to start seeds in. Hopefully by the fall, we will see. But for now, my kitchen table is just gonna have to do. and I'll just have to clean up. But I don't mind this mess. This is, like I said, my favorite type of mess. All right. So another thing that I did in my excitement to purchase or start a garden and purchase all the tools was these markers. Now, you can reuse these. These are not the paper ones. So I'm not too concerned about cost. These are like, I'm trying to get them straight here. These are like plastic. So I can reuse them over and over again. And I'm going to mark just like the first cell of each line, because I'm going to start multiple seeds of each variety. And I'm not going to waste this soil or this mix. So I'm going to scoop this that fell all out into this bag and then seal the bag back up so that I can start another tray later. One of the things that I like about growing my own and starting them from seeds is you have a bunch of different varieties that you wouldn't necessarily get at the store or even at the nurseries. So because of that, it just makes it a lot more fun. Going to write in pineapple, tomato, just like that. That way I can stick it right here. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells for each tomato start that I'm going. It looks like the soil is darker at the bottom, so it's already soaking up that moisture that we put in there. Now, the other thing that some people do is they take a spray bottle, which I do have a spray bottle, and they go ahead and spray. But while I am doing I'm gonna see how much of it soaks up before I do that, because I like to bottom water. And so while I am doing the labels, we'll see how much of this soaks up. And if it's still not wet on the top layer by the time I finish doing this, then I might go ahead and just spray some water on it just so I can wet the soil. But for now, let me go ahead and finish doing my labels, and I will be back. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, as you can see, let me just get some drips. The soil is a lot darker. That means it's wet. I don't know if you can really see that. You can't see that from there, but that's okay. So that means it's wet. So now we're going to, I did step away for a little bit longer than I originally had planned, which gave it some time to soak up some of the moisture. So that's good. So I'm going to start with the cream tomatoes. Now, there are different ways I keep my seed packages so that I can save whatever seeds I don't use. These from In My Gardener, they kind of just reseal like that if you have a bunch of seeds left over. Now, for me, I don't have very many seeds in this pack, so I will probably be using all of them because I'm going to plant, and this is why I have so many left over, but I'm going to probably take them to the farmer's market this year. So no worries, not wasting it. But I take these little teeny tiny seeds and I put 2 in each cell in the corners, and I just kind of press it down into the soil because they're so small. So it kind of sticks to my hand first, and then I press it down and just kind of shuffle some dirt over top. So I like to start 2 seeds per cell. Since there's 6 cells going up each row, it'll be 12 of each tomato variety. And I'm just kind of moving a little bit faster so I don't bore y'all. All right, so I got those in there, and I'm just going to kind of move the soil over top of it So I press it down and then shift from the other corners the soil. Because you don't want to bury it too deep to where it doesn't have enough energy to start poking its head up once the leaves start to sprout, once it germinates. All right. So this is going in the box, and that was Kellogg breakfast. All right, so just so you can see what it looks like, I have all of my starts here because there's no way this is gonna fit with these like this. I might have to invest in some taller domes if I want to get these under the domes going forward. So I don't want to cut them. Normally, like with my popsicle sticks, I cut them. They were actually half this size, so I didn't have that problem. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to make sure I have a taller dome. But that's it for now.
All right, so I just wanted to give you all an update on the seeds that I started at the beginning of this video. And I have them outside right now just because it's been like consistently in the 70s and 80s and then high 60s at night. So I wanted them to get some actual sun versus being in there with the lights. And I also wanted them to get a breeze so that they can be strong. But they are coming along. So I'm starting to see like a few of them. Let me see if I can find one. Actually, a lot of them now. Yesterday they didn't have as much. So just a little bit of sun kind of gave a lot of them a chance to get their true leaves kind of peeking through, which means it's time to up pot them here shortly. So I'll probably be doing that this week. So we're coming along and I'm very excited about that. I reached out to a couple of farmers markets to see what I need to do to get on their vendor list. This is going to be my first year participating in larger farmers markets. I did some small ones and vendor events before, but right now we have close to over 100 eggs that I'm getting every week. Not close to, it's actually over 100 eggs I'm getting every week. So I need to go ahead and start selling some of these things. So thank you all for hanging out with us. And until next time, be blessed.